Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Digital Nomad Ventures. In today's video, I'm going to be going through the differences between the long-term resident visa, otherwise known as the LTR visa, which was launched on September 1st, just 5 days ago, and the Smart Visa program, which has been around since about 2018. This is the current visa that I'm under in Thailand, so I have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge about this and less so about the long-term resident visa, but I've already created a full walkthrough tutorial about this one, which you can check out on my channel. I'll also leave a link in the description below with more information. But I've got the website pulled up for both the LTR visa and the Smart visa. As you can see here, all of the information in the description below for these websites. As you can see, the websites look surprisingly similar. Even up here, the login and the to apply button look very similar, and the headings as well. So there's a lot of similarities between the two programs, but this is Thailand's new answer to long-term residents coming to Thailand to make Thailand their home. So we could scroll through the website a little bit. It's actually the first time I've looked at it so far. It just went live on September 1st. So we could scroll through this. I've already discussed all of this information in a previous video, which you can see in the description below. But essentially, it just goes through the different privileges that are available to the LTR visa holders. It's a 10-year renewable visa. With permission granted to stay in Thailand the first time for 5 years, which can be extended for another 5 years, that's new information for me. I thought it was just for the full 10 years. And that's a 50,000 baht fee, roughly 1,500 US dollars, which it's not really clear whether that's like a one-time fee or you have to pay that every year. I'm assuming it's similar to the retirement visa, where you have to pay that 50,000 baht every year to continue to extend your stay in Thailand, which is really not a large cost. It's not very cost prohibitive. I paid 10,000 baht for my Smart Startup visa, which is good for 6 months to a year. So that kind of just, to compare the prices between the two, you can clearly see this was a little bit more expensive, but still much more affordable than an elite visa, which is 1 million baht for 10 to 15 years. So you could keep scrolling through and you can just see all of the different privileges that you get. It also provides you permission to work in Thailand, unlike a retirement visa where you are only here under retirement. You're not allowed to work in the Kingdom of Thailand. So this is really important, especially if you're a remote worker or a digital nomad and you're looking to make Thailand your home base for the next 5 to 10 years. You will need to make sure to have this digital work permit, which the long-term resident visa provides, as well as the Smart Visa. So the Smart Visa essentially takes the place of a work permit, which you can use to open a bank account, a Thai bank account. It's just something that is quite difficult to do if you do not have a work permit. There are ways to get around that, but I would not recommend it. It's better just to have all of your ducks in a row. So we can scroll through this website, which I've also made a video about. You can check that out on my channel as well. I have a lot of information about the Smart Visa. And this one's actually broken up into different targeted industries. So automotive, medical and wellness tourism, which is going to become more and more prevalent here in Thailand, especially post-pandemic. They're going to be starting to get into more and more health and wellness in the Kingdom of Thailand, which is awesome. Digital, which is what my startup falls under. It's a virtual tour startup for real estate and hospitality industries. So you can scroll through this, and then you can also see the different types of Smart Visa. So as you can see here, there's 5 different types, very similar to the LTR visa. Again, 5 different types of visas, and they're basically the same in many regards. The only difference that I can see is that this one also offers an option for wealthy global citizens and wealthy pensioners. In other words, a pensioner is a retired person that is receiving, monthly checks, either basically their pension every month. And you can read through the different qualifications and requirements for that, which I've already discussed in another video. So I'm not really going to go into too much detail about this. But essentially, to be qualified as a wealthy pensioner, you have to be over 50 years old, and you have to be getting a pension or stable income of at least 80,000 per year, or there's a stipulation here: if you're making less than 80,000 per year, but no more than 40,000 per year, you also have to invest in $250,000 of direct investment, real estate, government bonds, stock portfolio, those sorts of things. And you also obviously have to have health insurance as well. And for the global wealthy citizen, you have to have at least $1 million in assets, personal income of at least 80,000 per year in the past 2 years. And you also have to invest in, let's say, real estate, $500,000. That's interesting for me, especially since I'm getting into real estate projects here in Koh Samui in southern Thailand. So, yeah, this could be a good way to potentially get foreigners to come in and then live here and invest in real estate. So that's one of the reasons I'm making this video. My other video about the LTR visa is getting a lot of views, and so yeah, I figured why not make another video just comparing the two different types of visas, because there really are a lot of similarities between the two. And so yeah, compare those to the Smart Visa. Over here, we've got the Talent Visa, Investor, which would essentially be a wealthy global citizen that would invest in other Thailand-based startups, such as my own. And then you've also got an Executive Visa, the Startup Visa, which is the one that I'm under currently. So that's good for 6 months up to, I believe, 2 years. Maybe you can extend it even longer than that. I'm not entirely sure, but that seems to be the cutoff point, at which point you could then switch over to an LTR visa or elite visa once you're starting to get income and build up that savings in your bank account. So after the first 6 months for the Smart Visa, you have to show at least 600,000 baht in a bank account, which I currently don't have. So I'm actually looking for another option, exploring another option, so that I can switch from the Smart Visa over to a digital work permit. That will be like my third visa that I've gotten here in Thailand, which shows you that I am committed to staying here. And yeah, so you can continue scrolling through this page. This is all new to me. I actually don't know how the application process works yet, so this is good information to have. So essentially, you have to submit your application. It takes 20 working days after receiving complete documents, and then you're notified of the results. You're either approved or denied. I was actually denied the first 2 times for the Smart Visa, and then the third time it got approved. So you may have to do this multiple times. And just learn as you go along. Or, of course, you can hire a visa attorney or a lawyer to take care of all of this for you. Simply pay them a one-time fee, and then they can do everything for you. And of course, I am not a visa attorney or a lawyer. I'm just providing free information to you for people that are looking to come to Thailand to make it their home base, right? So we've got, after that, we got visa issuance. So qualified applicants may proceed with applying with LTR visa at the Royal Thai Embassy or the Royal Thai Consulate Generals overseas. So you can also you can apply for the LTR visa while you're overseas, and I believe you can also collect it at the Thai Embassy in your home country, which is good. That's a step forward, right? The processing fee for the 10-year visa with multiple entry is 50,000 baht per person in case of collecting LTR visa in Thailand. So it may be a little bit more expensive if you're getting it outside of Thailand. I'm not exactly sure. and then it says the fee may vary depending on the currency exchange rate of each country. So let's say your exchange rate is higher or lower than what you would get here in Thailand, then it may end up being a little bit more expensive. But for the people that are applying for this visa, it's probably not really an issue, right? And here they've got more information about the digital work permit issuance. Applicants who work in Thailand may collect digital work permits at the Department of Employment at One Stop Service Center. This is the exact same location where you go to collect the Smart Visa as well. It's in the same immigration center in Bangkok. And the processing fee for the work permit is 3,000 baht per year. So this is also new information for me. You have to pay 3,000 baht per year to maintain that digital work permit status, right? Which is like 100 US dollars, very affordable. And one question that a lot of people have about this LTR visa is the tax requirements, right? And we can read a little bit more about that here. It says 17% personal income tax for highly skilled professionals. And if I click on that, it doesn't provide any more information, right? This is just a highlighted bookmark, and then it goes back to the top. So I'm not exactly sure how that works, but if you're making less than a certain amount, then you really shouldn't have to worry about taxes all that much. Although if you are a US citizen, you do need to actually file taxes both in the US and in Thailand, which, to be perfectly honest, is not something that I've had to deal with yet. Last year, I actually got a tax return because I'm not making over, $20,000 per year. I'm low on a low tax bracket, and then I also got all the stimulus checks at one time. So last year, I filed my taxes, but I didn't have to pay any taxes, which is awesome. Um, just being transparent. And here we've got the application form. So this is actually how you can apply for these different types of visas. And for me, I would probably be considered a highly skilled professional. So if I want to open that up, you can take a look at the exact PDF document that you need to fill out in order to apply for that particular visa. And it's looking like it's about, I don't know, 8 pages. Shouldn't take too long to fill out. And again, this is very similar to the Smart Visa program. Even the PDF document itself looks very, very similar. So we can also come over here. I could actually just log into my dashboard on the Smart Visa website and up my status. So right here, you can see my status. I've received my visa. That's after applying multiple times and then actually waiting about a year while I was on my COVID extensions and then collecting the visa about 4 months ago. So that's just proof that I actually already have my Smart Visa. And here you can see the required documents to apply for the Smart Visa. This is for an extension, which I may need to apply for soon, but most likely I will just switch over to another visa. But as you can see, the document for the Smart Visa looks very similar to the document for the LTR visa. This one is for remote work professionals. So let's say you're already working for a well-established company like Airbnb, for example, and you want to come over and live in Thailand for the next 5 to 10 years, then this particular one would be a really good option for you. You have to be making at least $80,000 per year, which should be easy to prove if you're working for a company like Airbnb, right? It's no big deal. Most of the roles pay at least that amount, if not more. So this is the document for the Work from Thailand Professional. This is the document for the Smart Startup Visa. This one has more fields that you have to fill out, just showing like what your business plan is, how you plan to basically monetize your startup in Thailand, what are the benefits to the Thai economy, uh, what's your target market, what's your vision, all of those types of questions that relate to basically a business plan. And over here, I would assume that you don't have those types of questions because you're already working for a company. You're not an entrepreneur necessarily. So yeah, the document looks very similar. And I'd also be curious to see what the one looks like for wealthy global citizens. I would assume that you have to show proof of $1 million in assets. So yeah, here's your income, investments in Thailand. So it's talking about government bonds, direct investment as an individual investor in a company, real estate right here with the name of your property, address, the acquisition cost. Not entirely sure what that means. You could also show personal assets value as well. So total assets, types of assets which the applicant has possessed. So like stocks, mutual funds, gold. I don't see any mention of crypto here, but you can possibly put that as well. There are some stipulations with crypto that I don't really understand. I'm not going to get into in this video because I do not have any crypto holdings, nor do I particularly want any crypto holdings. Here you can also see the work permit section. So let's say you're a wealthy global citizen and for some reason you also want to work in Thailand, even though you have over $1 million in assets, which doesn't make sense to me, then you could also fill out this, and that just protects you from, getting deported or any legal issues related to working in Thailand. So yeah, pretty interesting, and they do look very similar, and it's not surprising because why reinvent the wheel if you don't have to? Might as well just iterate on what's already working, right? So, yeah, we can see that the two different visas are very similar. And okay, we're still recording. Sorry, I got a little bit scared there for a second. I thought it stopped recording. And you can just check out all of this information. If you want to apply for the LTR visa, just click on the to apply button at the top, and it will take you to a site to register, which I may actually do pretty soon. It's through the Thailand Board of Investment, also the same as the Smart Visa. So lots of similarities. And yeah, this is how you would apply. So I can fill this out later if I really want to apply for the LTR visa. But I'm thinking that it shouldn't really be an issue because I'm just going to get my work permit pretty soon. Switch from the Smart Visa work permit to a work permit for a company here in Thailand. And if you have any questions, you can also send an email to ltr@boi.go.th, which I am not affiliated with. I don't want you to think that I work for the Thailand Board of Investment. I happen to have my Smart Visa through the BOI, but I'm really just creating this video to provide value to you guys. And yeah, feel free to send me an email with any questions. I'm going to leave that in the description below. So if you have any questions at all, send me an email and I'll do my best to answer them. But yeah, very, very similar. I would recommend the Smart Visa just to get started. If you have a startup or you're working for a company and you want to come over to Thailand, stay for up to 4 years, then this is a really good and cost-effective visa solution for you. So go ahead, you can read through this website if you need, if for any details, and you can also contact them at this email down below, smartvisa@boi.go.th. And again, to apply for the Smart Visa, you simply click the To Apply button at the top, fill out this information, create your account, log into your dashboard, and I'm getting a call. Sorry, I have to stop that call. And yeah, that's all I have in this video. So thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to the channel for more information like this and also regular video updates from Thailand. Thank you so much, and peace from Thailand. Take care, stay safe.